Welcome everybody to episode 1 of Entrepreneurial Self-Actualisation 101 with Mary Dragon, and today I have a very good friend of mine here, Jorja, the owner of Sass Athletics Cheer and Dance from Adelaide, South Australia. How are you, Jorja?
Good.
Good?
How are you?
Good. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to ask you some questions today just in relation to the arts, community, and how to make the most of yourself without breaking your bank and using all of your finances. One thing that I really appreciate about my friend Jorja is that she's very hands-on and likes to make things by herself and be very resourceful, whereas other gym owners for cheerleading and dance schools, I notice they pay very high overheads for things like uniforms and for music. And yeah, my friend is very, very good at just keeping it a little bit more cost efficient and being very, very inclusive when it comes to neurodivergency and also for kids who are going through custody issues and working. Thanks, baby. And working through any sort of child protection issues. So I'm going to ask Jorja some questions today just surrounding how she works and who she is, and hopefully something in there is going to resonate with somebody out there who wants to make a start with themselves. And this is my daughter Aramea, who's here to help today. Will you say hi? Hi. Aramea is 3 and she's pretty much George's niece. So yeah, thank you again for coming today. Okay, we'll get started. Are there any apps that you like to use, whether they're free or they don't cost very much, that help you make content, reels, advertisements, etc.?
In the beginning, we had free everything. So we used things like Canva and Gmail and CapCut.
Yep.
Now that we've evolved a little bit further, we still use those things, but we've lent into Microsoft. And we have a 365 account.
Mum.
And you're mostly an Apple yes.
Look, I'm 55.
Okay. This will be good.
Mum.
Yep. Hang on. It's Auntie George's turn.
Mum, it's 5:55.
That's one of my favourite numbers.
It is.
Yeah. Okay, so you're
And you're 5:55.
Yes, baby.
Yes.
So Auntie Georgia is an Apple user for lots of things.
Yes.
And what do you think the benefit is to having a Microsoft account?
It's cost efficient.
Yeah.
Like at the moment, I believe we're paying about $15 a month. So
Okay.
a couple of dollars every single week.
Yep.
That gives us access to anything and everything Microsoft. So Outlook, which is like Gmail, it gives us access to PowerPoint, Word.
Yep.
Something
called to-do,
Amazing.
massive to-do lists. It's got
like
like Excel spreadsheets.
It's
There's so many.
Awesome.
I'd have to look it up to look.
Mummy's personally an Android user, and so I'm interested about Apple users who are using other things too. I've also used a lot of CapCut and Canva, and I've only just moved to the Pro
Yeah, we've got Canva Pro now.
one. What do you think, if you could pick out of Canva or CapCut for video editing, is there either that you find easier or more beneficial for beginners?
In terms of...
I mean my drawing.
Okay.
Okay.
What did I find easier? Canva?
Out of CapCut or Aramea, quiet game. Do you want me to hold? Can I hold my little baby? Yeah. Out of Canva, CapCut Pro, what would you say would be the easiest for beginners?
It entirely depends on what you're trying to achieve.
Yep.
So Canva I find easier in a general sense.
Yep.
When it comes to advertisements and things that you're putting up on social media, posts like that. Canva also has a video setting, like part of that you can kind of mess around and edit videos and whatnot with.
Yep.
But I know obviously CapCut does the same thing. I know a lot of people use CapCut, but I actually prefer Canva
That's
over,
fair.
which I know is a hot take.
No.
But
Canva has a better, I think, you can remove the backgrounds of people
you can,
in videos, and so maybe I'm not as experienced in CapCut, but I think that Canva's a really good place to start. No humming, and it's not because I don't want you to be happy, it's because you got to have your podcast this morning. Do you remember? Yeah. So how about you try to read this in your brain in your heart, inside. Okay?
Mum, I enjoyed to try this. It's love.
Oh, yeah.
It's love, yeah.
And next, Mum put one hand on it and licked it.
I love you. Next question. Are there any artists or creators that have inspired or motivated you to evolve to where you are today?
Ooh.
Look,
A few.
stronger.
Yeah, good muscles. Listening to
Can I
Auntie
be
Georgia.
cheesy and say you?
Thank you. Thank you.
Met Jess when I was 16, and so I had a hip hop foundation, but as for an advanced kind of like to add to that hip hop that I already had, because I've been a hip hop dancer my whole life, but to take me kind of to the next level in a way that I want to be took, Jess did that.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, there's a couple of people in my life. My dance instructor from high school. He's a beautiful man, and he
Mr.
really...
Smart.
Jason Smart.
Mr. Smart.
The Jason Smart.
Shout him out.
Shout him out.
Yeah.
Look. Whee.
And in primary school, I was under a lovely lady called Di Cox
Di Cox, beautiful.
for dance and arts and instruments and everything.
And why did those teachers make an impact on you, baby? Before we go to this question, Aramea, what we need to have is called respect, which means when somebody else has their turn, you don't interrupt them. So we're just learning personal space and also respecting that someone else is having a turn. So how about you talk in your mind to Mercat? Okay. Okay. I forgot what the question was.
Something about why they...
Oh yes. So why are those two teachers impactful on your artistic journey?
For me, Di was not the start of it all, but she was the start of... She made me realise that I wanted to take it seriously and that I wanted to pursue it long term.
Yep.
She put a lot of energy into me. She put a lot of energy into everybody.
Yep.
She was like human sunshine. She loved everyone. Everyone loved her. She was genuine and she was real and she was raw, and I had so much respect for her. Like, I think with Jason, it feels so weird saying his first name, but with Smarty, he took me to that next level. Like, I knew by the time I'd met him when I was 12, I knew that was what I wanted. That was what I wanted out of my life with my career, and I wanted to be able to provide for my family within that sector. And he knew that. And he saw something in me that I didn't even really see in myself until I was a lot older. And he pushed me. But he also was just the kind of person that you didn't have to say that you didn't feel okay. You didn't have to. You just look at him and he knew. Like, he read the room. It's just really beautiful soul.
You've got this. I believe in you. We will have another turn after. Okay. I think there's some sort of filter thing on here. I don't know, but I've not watched my face move twice. As in, like, the camera follow me. I don't know whether it's just the lighting or...
No, that is filtering. Look.
Oh, well. That's all right. I'm a bit tired today.
That's okay.
Okay. So, on those two teachers, it sounds like they had a lot of empathy, and specifically the high school teacher, which was Mr. Smart, he had a lot of empathy about wanting to actually use it as a career and a way to support your family. So not as much so from the fame side of things. It seems like it's more so from wanting you to actually grow into capabilities of your own.
They were both very, like I said, I said more so with Jason, but I think with Di as well, like, they both, I think I was very small and I was very quiet. Like, I wasn't a very outspoken kid. I was quite timid. But I think I had the passion, I had the energy, and I think from the very beginning I was a leader, and they saw it straight away, and so they honed in on that. And I said, like, I walked into Di's room for the first time, I said, I'm Georgie, I'm 6, and I want to be a dance instructor. And so she took that and she ran with it.
That's
and I'm
awesome.
so glad that she did. I'm so glad she didn't shoot me down, because I think that was probably the last thing that I would have needed.
Yes,
It was
yes.
to have a teacher put that much energy into you. I've never had that before.
No, and it only takes 1 or 2, teachers to do it. In school for me, I had Shauna Thompson, who I ended up doing a few workshops for her.
Hi, Shauna.
Oh, thank you. I ended up doing some workshops at her school later in life, but Shauna Thompson was the only teacher who saw me for who I was and who supported dance in the way that she wanted me to not just get good grades, but she would provide opportunities for me to keep dancing more or to elevate myself. And that seems like that's what Mr. Smart did, if in ways that it wasn't to do with grading or that other students couldn't get, they'd give you the opportunities to grow yourself, and even in ways that they probably couldn't have in the working in the system they have in general or in their own lives.
They've both retired now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, has he? Yeah, well, that's good. He worked so hard.
So, Di retired the year that I graduated, year 7. And it was almost like it was a straight handoff. So, Di retired, and Jason had been working for years and years, but I went from Di straight to Jason and danced with Jason, and then he graduated. He retired when I graduated year 12.
So his job was done then, I think, maybe. I actually feel like...
There was a little group of us that
I went to your last
we clicked.
year...
Yeah.
Your last year concert there was a choreography competition at the school, which I think is really important. Beautiful. It was beautiful because it was quite healthy when you were in the audience, of course, in any dance or any group of teenagers ever, in school, dance club, cheer club, any entity ever, you're going to have some bitchiness or comparison behind closed doors. And so, but what I saw though was that particular mainstream school, which you don't often see in the public education system, they were really catering to giving the kids opportunities to do the arts in the way that they wanted to, which didn't cost them any extra school fees. So they just, that is actually on the path of what we're talking about today, is being able to make the most of yourself without having to pay extra if possible, without having to have a team of people with you if you don't want to, that you have to manage at all times. It's about not needing to network with people and tell yourself that you have friends that really they're not friends. You're just helping each other out. Yeah. And even Jorja and I, when we first met, it was really about work, and over time...
it wasn't,
over time we've had times where we've worked together, and then we've almost had to go back to just being personal, and then had to have time apart, because the way that we actually work is not about money. It's about the opportunity, but to survive.
Obviously you need money to survive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And when I met you, you were working at another cheerleading school.
Yes.
We left pretty quickly, and then later in the year I got a call saying she had finished up there for some reasons. We don't need to go into that. No. Then we see here, who is now big, beautiful Missy, had started her childhood dream, Sass Athletics. She is the first ministry, Christian-based cheerleading and dance school that I have seen anywhere, at least in our area, which is providing opportunities for children who are non-religious as well, children who are... We have a high percentage of athletes who have or live with autism.
Yes,
and
neurodivergent. Autism, ADHD... intellectual disabilities,
like us. So, and of course, some further down the spectrum, or along the spectrum. I'm not sure if I'm using the right terminology.
Along the spectrum. Yes.
Yes. So, providing her, Sass Athletics, Cheer and Dance. What she is doing is really catering to a young version of herself. Things that we feel that we needed as children, and when you have been in the dance and cheer industry, the arts or entertainment industry for hitting 2 decades over here, close to, she started when she was younger than my daughter, and then I was in from about 4 years old. So when you've been in it for a long time, you do, of course, get exposed to lots of positives and opportunities yourself, and then you get to learn team building skills, social skills, lots of good things like getting on stage. I could keep going, but then there's always also another side to it.
Yes.
When it comes to the arts becoming sport and then becoming profit-based only. And then you do often see in the Western world the invitation of inclusivity, so where everybody is welcome, but there will be facilities where wheelchairs can't come in and out, or where people really cannot be catered to because the owners of the gym have not met themselves deeply enough, or maybe have not been exposed to certain demographics enough in life. And one thing I love about my friend Jorja is that her entity is a not-for-profit, which took a bit of effort and time to get set up. Worth it, as well as being inclusive, low cost. She'll get rich one day, but she's already rich inside. And
I don't need money.
That's it. We do. We need.
I've got kids. But I don't need copious
I know,
amounts.
exactly. We need to.
I've got kids that are rich in soul, and that's enough.
That's it. And so, as the money grows, you will remain grounded and humble and good. So it means that when this progresses, you'll be a hell of a lot better off in personality and calmer lessons than a lot of people who have the money. And so for a lot of us creatives that are taking time to make things happen, it's not from a place of wanting to take it slow. It's not from a place of, even if you have money, not wanting to invest. Often it comes from needing to grow who you are at the same time as a human being, and also comparing yourself to the best of the best, which is everything that you see when you scroll on your phone, which often the reels and the TikToks, they don't often teach you how to make those best of the best, or they have teams there, or they have they've taken 20 takes of something. And so it's better to take it slow, make a few learning errors here and there, and remain good inside. I feel like that's what you've done.
I feel like, a lot of people, and I think this is something that has kind of always irritated me. Mm. Like, even as a kid, is I'm big on looking at who you're working with, not looking at the brand, not looking at, you know, the amount of money that they've got or whatever, but who you're working with or who your leadership is as a human being. Look beyond the brand, look beyond the logo, you know, look at the leadership team. Do you feel as though you align with their morals? Like, we are a faith-based company. Not all of my families are religious. Solid 90% of them are, but I also have a few that aren't. And they came to me not for the sake of religion, but for the sake of morals. They've got good morals, and they wanted somebody that kind of aligned with that.
Well, you want someone who's kind and honest. And when you get big into entertainment, and specifically the competitive industry, when it is literally just built to win, it's
tricky to kind of...
people lose themselves all the time. And
it's not always intentional either.
No.
Sometimes it's just...
It's nice to get the trophies. It's nice to get the validation. It's nice to have the jackets, the teams, the people
the crowns,
walking past you high-fiving. I saw your routine. It's nice to see people grow up around you, and there's so many benefits to any sort of team-based
environment.
But when we get on this specific little series, it's not as applicable to the industry that we came from, and even the industry that Jorja is still strong enough to work in that I am no longer. We can take some things from there, but from this specific industry, the amount of money that it costs to make these huge competitions happen, there would need to be a massive reality check to the entire industry to find another way to do these comps cheaper.
Which is starting to happen.
It's starting to happen. People everywhere are waking up, it seems.
Which is amazing. Sass was almost a decade in the making.
You had your logo ready before,
I had my logo
way before you started.
ready. I had my branding. I had my theme.
You had your colours pretty much. You were.
I was set. Like 12 years old, I looked my mum dead in the eyes and I said, "I'm opening my own studio." And she was like, "Well, not yet. You know, grow your own skills, blah blah blah." And then 2 or so months after I graduated, I was like, "Right,
yes, exactly.
Now's the time."
That's your path. Yeah.
And I did. I threw myself in the deep end, but I wouldn't have had it any other way. I find that it's definitely my calling.
Yes.
And I think every program is different, and it took me a long time to realise. I grew up in, I've been dancing almost 20 years. And growing up, I went to 3 studios. So loyalty is a big thing for me. And the only reason I left the studios that I was at is because I either out-aged the teams that they were. Growing up, I moved as well. Like, I moved houses, and so I had to leave that particular studio because it was too far away from my house. Never any hard feelings ever. I think it was probably just a growth thing for me, wanting to take myself to the next level or wanting to try something new. Which I feel as though as business owners we tend to hold ourselves back and limit ourselves because we don't want our families to feel as though we're self-centered or that we're only in it for ourselves and you know, and I struggled in our first year or two because I wanted to keep it about the kids. But for me, it's always about it's the kids.
Yes.
Do everything for the sake of the kids.
Yes.
But I also learnt that as coaches, and now that I have staff as well, is that we can do things for the kids, but we can also do things for us, and that it's okay. And that was a big pill to swallow.
That is a big pill. That took me many more years than what it took Georgia. And if I can... if I can talk on that, there is another challenge that we often face is people around us from older or more experienced generations and maybe more solidified ways of learning or doing. We do face a lot of resistance and adversity when we do start to focus on ourselves.
Or do things differently.
And so it does... when you choose a path that is like purpose or calling based and you just know that it's for you, it does irk people in a part of them that sometimes it's, I didn't meet this in myself when I was little, or I was never allowed to explore working differently, or when I was 20 years old, I had to own a house and have a full-time income and 3 children, and it in the nervous system, you know, there's always some sort of resistance or unsolicited comments about how you should be choosing you, why people think that you're choosing you, what your intentions are, and it does come down to projection of if they were to do it, who would be behind their business,
who would be in their corner,
and what version of them would they be? Probably they'd be living in fear, and so the fear of failing has, for many people, stopped them. Just stopped them. We don't even try anymore. And then it's those people who are respectfully our elders, the closest people to us who we love very much. That's where, as a creator or a content creator, artist, whichever, you're going to face adversity, probably from the people in your circle or people you were born into. And whether you believe there's a God, a universe, whatever you believe, bad vibes when you walk into a room. I don't know any slang anymore. I'm not even going to try. So, but whatever you believe in, you will often get feelings of that people either are or are not for you in your industry or in your workplace. And then it is about learning to differentiate that you are still loved, even though those around you may just not be able to perceive what you're doing, because they can't perceive the vision, they can perceive the results. But from the age of 18 to 20, that's where I stumbled in business. And I had a couple of little dance businesses that did not flourish. I didn't have anyone to support me, or the internet was not as prominent. The ability to research how to do things cheaper just wasn't there. And the resistance I was facing, because 18, I was in a relationship that was quite nasty.
Yeah.
I just had to give up. And so I'm going to ask you another question in a sec, but for support people who are here for creatives and for artists and gym owners, whoever you are who's making...
thank you.
Thank you. If you can be close and you can be an ally to that person, knowing their dreams are not yours, they were never yours, as long as they remain a good person and they over time learn to grow and admit when their truth has changed, there's no reason why you can't support them and say, good on you for trying, good on you for giving it a go, just try again, you're not finished yet. Small comments make a huge difference.
Massive difference.
The worst thing you can say is things like, you shouldn't, you can't, I wouldn't do that, so you shouldn't. I haven't seen that done before, so it shouldn't happen.
It won't work.
It won't work because this needs to stop. Because when anybody who gives the adversity and the resistance to you, generally those people, when they're low, they'll watch and they'll run to the things that we make.
Yeah.
So if I can encourage you there, they end up looking at us anyway, but it's just when they need validation in their deep emotions that we put on the plate anyway.
Yeah.
All the time.
Always there.
Next question. How do you feel about AI use and the normalization of that, as well as people making money off of AI generated advertisements and art? It's a big question.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I have no issue with if you've written something and putting it through just a spell check or a punctuation check or anything like that. Just like an editing run through, like maybe an editing check. Okay, I don't usually, just because I like authenticity.
You like to articulate your own words.
I like to articulate my own words, my own thoughts.
Yes.
I know of people that do use AI and they only ever use AI when it comes to advertisements and captions on posts and anything like that. I've never done that just because my kids are the kind of kids, like, they're posers. They love having their picture taken, they love having videos taken, so I've always got enough content to kind of go around.
Yeah.
And then as for captions and posts and stuff, I'll spell check things, but that's about it. Yeah, I've never used AI for a post or anything like that, just because I don't even know how to use it. Honestly,
and like if you don't feel you should be doing it, then don't. And I agree. I'm very much like you, where I just like to be able to speak from my own words and improve my own verbalizing and delivery of things. And I'm swallowing an ego pill at the moment that I'll have to throw this in here. Last year I was a victim of AI generated pornography. It was the most evil thing I've ever seen. And I have a thing with AI, but the ego pill that I am swallowing is like in all of our design tools that we use, for example in Canva, if you need to remove a background or do anything like that, you have to, there is artificial intelligence in everything that we use. And so at the moment my brain is saying you have to see it like the internet, like, you know, like junk food. It's like a thing that we have to have in the world, that we shouldn't feed the beast, but we do, because I never use it for words, and I get really peeved when people use ChatGPT. You can tell.
It's so obvious. Nobody uses dashes anymore.
School teachers and professors use it for their staff, and it's just like, it's so you don't put things through generators. And I've seen you play around with colours. I've seen you play around with logos, with like hand designs, hand sequencing, hand everything, and
drawing everything.
We mix our own music most of the time. You know, we've got do you still do?
I use GarageBand usually.
Yeah, that's good. I
know some people use iMovie. Others use CapCut. I think it's really just down to preference.
GarageBand is really good. I had an iPad when I was young, and that was really easy to use. I used Audacity for a long time.
Yes, Audacity's good too.
But that's very old school now.
Yes.
very old
That
school.
one's dated nowadays. But that one's good.
But that's how I made all of my performance and competition mixes since I was 14 years old. Was on GarageBand for the first 2 years, and then Audacity.
Yeah.
If you are somebody who is wanting to mix music together, if you get it into a music mixer, music often looks like, the frequency looks like a heartbeat.
Yes.
And so if you can chop a section up, 2 sections that you like, and you can move them over each other, and then if you get the beats of the heartbeat to match, you may get
it
flows nicely. And if you like, you can find a sound effect from somewhere. Oh, quickly, yes, my journey to doing everything pretty much for free started from downloading music illegally on LimeWire when I was like 10, and then it went to Audacity and doing illegal MP3 downloads. I still use YouTube to MP3 illegal downloading. I do. I'm sorry. Do you know how many sound effects are on YouTube? You can help.
I know some people screen record things.
You see, some people
just
do.
The audio goes.
Maybe I shouldn't have said that I do it. I know people who use YouTube to MP3.
The audio goes if you screen record it. Yeah.
Just like on
the
YouTube.
audio's off.
If you search up cheerleading sound effects, it has like a 100-piece pack. Anyway, if you put a sound effect over the heartbeat chop, you could have your favorite song, your other favorite song. And for most of us who started out with the free music mixing programs, there were a lot of explosion sounds, a lot of DJ turntable sound effects, and you would
DJ turntable.
There was you do whatever is easy to get you started. Most dance routines, I'd say, from the 2008 to the 2015 era, all finished with the sound.
Oh yeah.
Every hip hop routine, pretty much. Right.
Or like a glass breaking sound.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, the glass.
Or an alarm.
That brought back
or
core.
Like a school bell something.
My eyes are watering.
Memories.
The glass breaking. I thought I was so cool at like 14. I thought I was so like out there, and no one else had ever done it. But that's so funny. Oh, yes, and
memory unlocked.
Yes, there was actually core memory I thought about. Let's be real. A high percentage is Caucasian girls, right? Yes. Who are using reference to other culture, Africa, and Hollywood, and the entertainment industry. One thing I've noticed is instead of paying homage to a style or be inspired by, we just replicate and copy. Yes. A white t-shirt, black pants, and a red flanny around the waist. Right? Could we not wear it as a jacket? And some people wear it as great, yeah. You could see 100 teams of white girls doing all the coolest hip hop songs with the coolest moves. They put their guns in, they put in there, someone comes to the front and shakes their butt, and they're underage, and they're all wearing red flannelette shirts because they want to look like the Bloods and the Crips from LA.
Well, that's the other thing, is I think appropriateness. Like, and that's the thing as a judge as well. What irritates me is that she's tired.
Yeah.
What irritates me is that it's a blurred line when it really shouldn't be.
Yes. Like, appropriate is not just sexual.
Why are we letting children shake their butt on stage? I would never understand. And these cropped costumes.
Yes.
Why are we putting a 5-year-old on stage in a cropped costume? No.
And
you'll never catch me doing that.
On the odd time, we do get costumes where the kids are in crops, but then you've got to be really careful with what music they're using or what their actual moves are. And with appropriate songs as well, because you can get a clean verse, but if it's about murder, it's about murder.
Yeah.
And if you have your like while we're working with keeping children safe and helping them find the best version of themselves, I've been to Los Angeles and to Skid Row, to downtown. It's not actually a message. Oh, we're almost done, babe. While we're looking at keeping ourselves...
Oh, you cracked your nail.
Oh, I'll fix it in a minute. While we're looking at keeping ourselves and kids safe, and we're talking about being appropriate, we do need to bring into it that gang mentality and murder and the streets. That industry is actually built to keep people in poverty. A lot of the music from the origins of hip hop cannot be used in our competitions because of the explicit nature of it.
Yeah.
But the message of it is very, very real. And unfortunately, it's been warped now to hypersexuality, mumble rap, and cool sections where you just know it's about shaking butt. And so if while you're learning to be a creative content creator, artist, and you are working with other people or on the stage or just have any form of leadership or not authority, but, you know, place of leadership over anyone, we need to be really open-minded when we come to, like, when we're thinking about what's appropriate for them, audience members. You're not being vanilla by using music that isn't talking about murder. And probably as a positive challenge, if you could try and be, this is where Jorja's quite good with her music. Of course, there are tunes that we all use, ballads, but if we can try to break, what's the term, like break the grain? I don't know, whatever that is, and try to research a little bit harder. There are artists like us who have good messages that still have strong beats. They're not even all, it's not even all religious. There's a lot of, when you go down the spiritual path, there's, and even Christian music is quite good. You get a lot of that does not speak about God that much. It often just talks about resilience. Baby, we're almost done.
I think also honouring the genre as well.
Yeah.
Do your research. Find out where that particular genre of dance originated from. Educate yourself, educate your kids.
Yes.
You know, honour.
Why was it created and what purpose did it serve in society? And that's really important.
Do you know what? If you go out there and all your routines are, you know, a good old traditional jazz or a traditional hip hop, that's something that we do. Is our hip hop's all very traditional. It's very grounded. It's very. You
do very squats, very knees,
low to the ground.
And arms that are doable for people who are. Baby Aramea, Mummy's trying not to get frustrated.
And just to make the choreography accessible
and
for
song.
everyone.
I can see that you use songs that parents would know as well.
I like the throwbacks.
Yeah. Dance is a beautiful place for that reason, and I do. I see so many positives when people are, come on, baby, Jules for 5 minutes.
Speaking of child-friendly hip-hop, shout out to Jules
TV. Another example of how things can be misperceived, because this TV show is actually a family of 8 to 10. It's an African-American family, and we've got the mum, the dad, 4 brothers, 4 cousins who are girls, and it's all about family and hygiene and all the good stuff. But while you're honouring yourself, you can forget to include others. Yeah. Do you remember how we were talking earlier about how when you choose yourself, others are going to give you resistance and adversity? When you are focusing on yourself, you are focusing on yourself, which can look like,
it's a good thing.
It is a good thing.
But
and if you get to a point where it's not a good thing, you'll find that out about yourself to bring it back to a good thing. But in the process, no one else is going to know whether you're in the good thing
or the bad thing. That's up to you. Yeah.
And that's why it makes me think, even just the new little social media I've got, either I was scared of doing lots of little different things and I just did the same thing I'd always done, or I just tried and was willing to be a beginner again. Look at us now being beginners, you know, but if we can motivate you at all to just give things a go. Some of your advertisements I've seen get lots of likes, some only get a couple.
I think also following the algorithm is important. Like, I've learned just recently about algorithms. If you haven't learned about algorithms, look them up. It's actually really, eye-opening. I find, and I've actually tested this, if I post at certain times of the day, our posts gain more traction. Think about it. No, everybody's at work during the day or at school. So why would a post at, 2 p.m. gain anything? Yes. And it typically doesn't. But then if you post at, 6 o'clock at night...
Yeah.
Why? Because everybody's on their phone.
Everybody's home. Everyone's on their phone.
They've had dinner. They've had a shower. They're on their phone.
Yes.
They're just checking. They're keeping up with the times. Boom, your post is right there the second they open Instagram because you've posted it.
Oh, and that's a really good point for if you're looking to
gain.
If you're looking to locally, around you in the same time zone, or in the same country, it is really important to know when to post. That's something I was never really good at. Because I would just make stuff. It would never come out at the right times, or I'd need to repost it or share it over and over again. So that's, really beneficial. And same thing as when I used to work in call centers, there are certain times of the day that everyone's home, and just being able to learn how the algorithm works, how you can feed it, and how you can get it to the people that you want to get it to at the right times is really, really important. To layer onto that, if you have friends who are in different continents or time zones, sometimes you might learn that there's no possible way to cater to everybody at the same time.
Yes.
And I guess everyone's different. Georgia and I both believe in more than what we see. Whoever's meant to see your work will see your work. So it's important that you learn the skills, you upgrade yourself like you're doing, and the other people that we'll talk to on this series as well, it'll be the same sort of thing. But I hope we can probably feel encouraged and a bit validated, and some relief that there's no way to cater to the whole world at once, and that who's meant to come to you will come to you. And sometimes if someone is not meant to be working with you anymore, or you're not meant to be working with somebody, I like to say the trash will take itself out, which means either that person or you will be completely removed from the situation. While we're still learning, we sometimes can't walk away. We can't say goodbye, or our emotions get in check, because through our businesses and entrepreneurship, we're trying to also build connections and good friendships, maybe reparent ourselves in a way that we never got when we were little, maybe trying to heal from young relationships or trauma or abuse even, not pointing at you, but lots of us, we all start for our own reasons.
Yes.
I
think as well, I can't remember where I was going to go with this.
That's okay.
I think learning, and I'm at that age as well, where I think, unfortunately, I've been told my whole life, oh, you're so mature. Like, I had to be. But also, I think some people just are. Like, they're born grown, or they're born mature, and they're born as leaders, and I'm a firm believer in that. And I look around in whichever industry, it's not even just ours, like it's not fixated to ours. And you can tell, you can walk into any room and go, right, that's a leader, that's a follower, that's,
there are standouts, wherever you go.
And when and you even see it in classrooms full of students and whatnot, is look at a group of kids.
My mum's vacuuming. We'll finish up in a sec.
You look at a group of kids and you go, okay, you're going to be a CEO of a business one day. You're going to be, whatever. You're going to make your own business. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. And then there's other kids that I love the calmness of. They're just happy to be there. But the other kids are like, this is what we're doing, and this is how it's going to happen. And a lot of my athletes are like, right, so I need to know what's happening, who's this, why, when, where, how, and they're detail-orientated children. And I think giving energy to what I find with a lot of the neurodivergent athletes, because 99% of my enrollments are neurodivergent, lots of people don't give them the time of day because they're too hard, or they're too energetic, or they're too this, or they're too that. But their attention to detail is
it's off the charts with
neurodivergent children. And I think being that coach that you needed as a kid, and I was very, very lucky to have 2 coaches that were exactly who I needed. But I also had actually 2 or 3 coaches that were exactly who I needed them to be. But I also had a lot of coaches who were the exact opposite. And that's not their fault. I'm not throwing shade at them for that. I wasn't vocal with what I needed because I struggled with my words. And that's the other thing with these neurodivergent children, is they show how they're feeling through dance. A lot of my kids, they can't talk. Or they're selectively mute. So they do talk, but they have to really trust you in order to talk to you. And a lot of my students are like that. So to be able to hone in on that and to be able to support them,
it's really beautiful to see. I think, I've got it in here. It's very, authentic leadership is what you're doing, and you are attracting, because in your early life you've tried to stay true to you, and you have stayed. You're attracting kids like you that Yeah, and as you know, some of the most talented, intelligent children are learning over time verbally, or even if they never ever speak, what they can show you in any way is, whether it's creatively with animals or special interests, callings, you are shown, not told, which is actions do speak louder than words very often. And if the leadership in creative or any entity where there's adults in front of children, if the adults don't know themselves, can't sit in silence with themselves, or are not on a journey to understand what they needed as a child, they're going to struggle to hear in their intuition and their field. They're struggling to hear what those children are saying without them saying it. Actually saying it. And so what our students over time and ourselves, what we say without saying things, yes, school helps us learn to write, read and verbalize better. This is why people use ChatGPT so much, that it allows you to have the words that you never knew how to say. But it could also validate you that being a psychopath is a good thing. So you've just got to be careful with any non-human thing ever, right? And also careful with human things. That's a whole... Anyway, we will start to finish up, but I want to say thank you so much for coming to our first episode. This episode is, due to it being a bit toddlerified, is going to have a bit of chop suey done to it. So it's going to take a few weeks to come out. And my mum's vacuuming, so I'll do my best with the sound. Just to finish up, I'd like to say that, because I had it written in here as a question or a statement, but yeah, you seem to have really great personal definitions on what success means for you, on what maturity is for you.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us born with the kind of the old soul thing, we are quite mature. We still have to learn. Yeah. We have a lot to learn in ourselves still. But you see standout kids who, if they're not honoured, they could end up really downhill.
Going in the opposite direction to what you want them to.
You've seen me go up and downhill many, many times. She's known me since before my baby. So Jorja's seen me go through so many things. And so...
speaking of the baby.
Speaking of. So I wanted to bring her on here first to say thank you for being my friend and a great auntie to Aramea, to keep doing what she's doing and to stay true to her and to always be grounded, humble and righteous. And whenever truth changes, we just keep admitting we adapt as we go. And we keep being, whether we're making money or not, because money comes, we keep being who we needed, and we keep journeying to find out who we needed as kids, being that for ourselves. And whether we have children or not, I think we can make our lives a little bit more purposeful and fruitful.
Yes.
Thank you for coming to our first episode today. I'm excited for our next one. And here's to you and making the most of yourself without breaking the bank. So thank you for coming. Will you wait?
No, the time is started.
No, it's finished now. Thank you. Bye-bye. No, we can do it again.
It's almost done.
When is it done?
In 5:55.
That's a long... We'll wait till 55. Ready? That's 15 seconds.